We have a little bit of a different mood. There's some clouds out, but the lighting is good enough. So, 5D mystics. Woo-woo people. It's amazing to have an oversoul. And it's also amazing to be a person who loves education. So I'm trauma-informed. And even before becoming trauma-informed, I had already began working on the lovely inner growth mindset with psychology, sociology, and existentialism. As a person myself, I saw that people did not need to enter inner conflict. Oh, lo and behold, they could use their mind for something better. Yes, and as I got older, and then I also got my mystic, not powers, but the lovely Clairland, I was like, wait a minute, there's a lot more behind all of this stuff. And I see so many beautiful 5D educators, not the silverbacks. They're not good educators. They're bad educators. They limit consciousness, they limit potential. So when I see titles that are accusing one group of people who need mental health for another group of people's trauma, I'm thinking, okay, are we picking favorites about trauma? Because trauma is mucking up all people's lives. When we watch movies like Mean Girls or Hangover, I mean, I watched it maybe once or twice. I don't find it humorous that individuals who are adults excessively use alcohol or compulsively do a lot of other things. Go figure. I'm typically told that that's my innocent nature, and nope, it's just an aligned, enlightened person. So when I hear sentences like this, the longer you entertain what is not meant for you, the longer you postpone what is. And I've had the ear for 4D for a long time because they're the only mystics out there who actually can relate to our oversoul experience, which is why integrating mysticism, so the human stuff, spiritual and spirituality. And let me go and use the Sadhguru example that I was in the short using. I didn't spell it out exactly. I have my notes somewhere. But what he was saying, and this was in my inner engineering course, if I'm not mistaken, which anybody who takes it will hear it, or it was in Shambhavi Kriya, one or the other. Long story short, or maybe it was an interview. Anyways, somewhere I saw him say this somewhere, and he was having one of his gatherings, and he was talking about, when life is coming and you're doing life and basically you're having fun, you're going to be happy to have another take at it. It's only if you're doing it with suffering that you're not. And in fact, the karma wheel, which karma is action. So we all can take karma, we all take action, but there's a difference when you do dharma. Because see, karma is explained in many different ways by Sadhgurus who I learned it from. And I did know it as a teenager with the whole karma is going to come back and bite you. At a certain point, I'm like, that kind of sounds mean. It's almost like when they use other sentences, like, why would you do that? It's going to come back and bite you in the ass while you're saying it to somebody else. And also that energy. So see, the energy of spite is an energy of, it's a teenager who's being a little dickhead or a dickwad. We can all be the dickwad or the dickhead. We'll know it. And then there are those who have a lot more of trauma and they don't think of themselves as dickheads. They actually think that they're badass. Other people think they're badass too. Other people who not the 5D mystic, because the minute we meet somebody who's manipulating or we figure it out, eventually we're going to be like, wow, that's so sad. Because at least if there were that whole plane of the, after we live, it's only a shared consciousness plane, and that's not what made you do it. No temptation, although I know the traditional people in the groups keep thinking that there's a hand somewhere making. No, what it's called is the first 18 months of your life. Very important. And if you don't learn how to self-regulate your nervous system, you're going to learn to self-soothe. And, sex, drugs, alcohol, food, procrastination, shopping. Go check out the modules or whatever they're called. I forget their name. The diagnoses. And so people are saying we have a mental health crisis. I've been growing up and not seeing a health crisis of minds, but I definitely noticed people don't grow up emotionally. That they choose to be spiteful towards each other. Just again, watch the movies. That they choose to misalign. I saw teenagers doing stuff, then they grew up and they're still doing it. I'm thinking, I thought you'd mature. That's what my brain was thinking. I didn't need any of the trauma-informed stuff to know something's off. And no, it wasn't the temptation of this, let's keep our people in sin somehow from the medieval times. It's like, what year are you living? Because my book, it's 2023, not the times of the medieval. Thank goodness. I would not want to be living there. So when you bring together all these different topics, and that's why, again, mystic here, woo-woo lady, it's totally cool. Pseudoscience lady, I'm good with it. I know that I'm living a life that's way more aligned than any other person that I've seen do yoga all day long. That's for sure. In fact, I thank Sadhguru for having me do yoga. And now that I know that I'm a restorative embodied self and a brain that is integrated, I understand why I'm like, okay, yeah, it's not a big deal. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I can feel more present. Yes, yes. More grateful, obviously, but I can do that all on my own if I want to. I don't need to sit in poses to do it, is what I'm saying. People who, on the other hand, don't have a good relationship, they're not intimate with their sensations, their body, their 3-year-old, the heart is not whole, trauma, it's mocking up people's lives. But go tell them that. You know what they do? They stare at you with boring eyes and think you're making a big deal out of something versus, nah, no, I'm not. But hey, you keep living half of your life and you won't know about your life from next lifetime. It doesn't matter. In fact, actually, on that note, Akashic record readings, so many people make no use of it. Zero. Actually, here, we put the pink tainted glasses on because they don't know that every time they want to cancel their oversoul because they didn't get what they wanted from their twin flame or soulmate, I don't know, some of their friends who they decide to start calling energy vampires and dark auras, and actually they start to, oh, I'm an empath who only attracts narcissists, stuff like that, teenage land again. I mean, I was surprised as I got older to see people continuing to use quizzes to define themselves. I'm like, don't you know who you are? What do you need a quiz for? The only time I took one as I got older was because I was requested it professionally, and they're like, because it'll help us to have you get along with other people. I'm like, okay, fine, I guess that's good. I can use my ears and actually hear you, but hey, if you want an outline, go for it. And it was interesting to figure out quiz. Quizzes are quizzes. They're not like, set in stone, unless you're looking to set something in stone because you don't know who you are. Some of us, we do. So 5D mystics, we love our oversoul, and when we get to interact, we are looking to expand with them and grow. Now, some, they don't know about their trauma, so they do treat us in quite not nice ways. It's very interesting when you have projection. They might think they have healed because of being trauma aware, but like Patrick Tiahan says, trauma awareness, no, it's not healing, because to heal, you need to first face the terror of your emotional body disconnect in a room, either with a good therapist or, as he points out, Patrick Tiahan, childhood trauma survivor, healing, and therapist. Go look him up. He's on YouTube. In fact, he's great for anybody who actually wants to work with their trauma for real, not pretend. Because there's a lot, they use the mouths, like I was saying, a lot of bad educators out there. Here, let me blame the narcissist for your stuff. How about we take two people who have no idea that they're both traumatized and we get them both with good therapy? Versus make it out to be a little movie competition or, a side. Aren't you supposed to know about mental health? People that use titles and their little actual labels to then put people against each other and perpetuate what is teenage land over and over and over again. That's what it feels like when I see this stuff. I can't even believe they still are being allowed to be educators. Anybody who puts people against each other shouldn't be considered an educator because they're not expanding consciousness. They're limiting it. Their one focus is in the illusion land, and they might do yoga, but apparently they don't know what it means to open their mind and to be creative and bring things together and allow things to coexist. Somehow they create competition. I forgot, adaptive children have low self-esteem because trauma means your heart as a 3-year-old is broken and you need thumbs up, thumbs down. Makes a big difference for your social system, the network in your brain. And the attachment system that longs to be seen, to be soothed, to be safe, to be secure, to be yourself. Guess what? Some of us, here it is, very much nonchalant, whatever the word is. So back to Patrick Tiahan. Trauma is relational abuse that requires relational healing. Tell your story in front of a safe person who can take it all in. 5D mystics in the Enlightenment Soul Age group. I've never not been a person who's unconditionally loved people. And when people did things in the years, I knew something was up. Thank you to all the trauma experts for letting me know that 3-year-olds with broken hearts will treat people that are 3-year-olds with whole hearts basically like shit. Hurt people who hurt people, they don't know that they can use good therapy. And there's a lot of them. And they use the movies, stereotypes, generalizations. And yeah, there's a lot of not grown-up males in my book that I've seen, females as well, very disappointed. But, they don't know about trauma. Apparently, they know how to use the weaponization of words. Thank you again, Patrick Tiahan. let's help them to learn how to unconsciously love like grown-ups, shall we? So tune on in for more and have a great day.